Hey folks, Real Honesty with Jarmithlin. I'm Jarmithlin. This is my review of the Mae Young Classic episodes 4 through 8, the second round, the quarterfinals, and the semifinals that dropped just today. I'm recording this before Raw, so this review will probably go up sometime after Raw, so I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you guys stop watching, if I tag you in this and you haven't watched the episodes yet, don't watch my review. Watch the episodes first. Unless you don't have time and you'd like to know the winners, then by all means, listen to me recap them. I'm going to do my best to try and keep it at about 22, 23 minutes like I did in my previous video. But some of the matches were a lot better, so I might go into a little bit of detail, but I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. The commentary was still ass. Sorry, Lita. She seems like a nice person. She just is not very good at this whole commentary thing. And JR had some slip-ups. Look, JR's had a really rough 2017. He's had a lot of health issues. And he's getting, I think he's near 70 at this point, if not 70 now. So that's going to happen. But with Lita, she's just, it's not a good mix. I think if Medusa had been on commentary with JR, I think it might have actually been better. I know that Medusa has been backstage interviewing various people, including interviewing Kairi Sane, which was an adorable interview. Look, I'm sorry, Kairi Sane is just great. She's greatly talented and just adorable. Just gotta say it. But I think that Medusa could have been, it would have been nice to at least have somebody else on commentary, change it out, have Lita, for one series of matches, have Medusa on, whatever. But anyway, enough about the commentary. We start with the second round, which we're down to 16 by this point. You had Rachel Evers versus Abby Laith. I really, really liked Abby Laith's look. I really like Abby's look. I think she's got a very bright future. I think Rachel Evers has got a bright future also. Her look and style was cool. Both. Rachel's look was very Rogue-like, Rogue from X-Men. At least that's the vibe I got from it. Maybe that's what she was going for. A lot of ... hashtag dives in various matches. Abby got a nice dive. Really nice diamond cutter variation by Rachel. Well, it was basically a diamond cutter. Like, I mean, she jumped up and caught it. Of course, no one delivers it like DDP, but still, it was nice. And then, really, crowd was really, really hot for this. Now, I don't know if this was the second day of taping, because I don't know how many days they taped it over. I think over the course of like 4 or 5 days or something. I would imagine, I don't know if they want to make the women wrestle twice a night, but it wouldn't be the first time that WWE had people do that, like they do at NXT tapings. And they had a really, really cool double boot spot where both women go for a double boot, knock each other down. And Abby wins, and it was really nice. I was actually surprised. I thought Rachel Evers would get the win, but cool stuff. Abby got the win. Very fun opening match. And then Serena Deeb versus Piper Niven. Nevin. I kind of screwed up. Some announcers pronounce it as Niven, or Nevin. I pronounce it as Niven, whatever. Bottom line is, fun match. Quick. It was good. Serena had her back worked on. Piper had a really, really good presence about her. So is Serena, don't get me wrong. And it's weird because Piper's only 25, but she's been wrestling since 2008. So she wouldn't be the only UK wrestler to start wrestling before she turns 18. I mean, look at Paige. She started wrestling when she was 13. But, well, actually, I don't know. Bottom line is Scotland, Ireland, Britain, that whole area produces a lot of great talents. It was experience versus power, even though, as I said, Piper had been wrestling for a good while. Piper has a good presence. Love the diving splash where, Serena was sitting up and Piper just dives at her. I mean, they go over the spot, but she dives at her, just squashes her. Really cool stuff. The Rude Awakening by Serena was very nice. Very, very cool. Just very cool how she snapped that down. Great selling by both ladies. Vader Bomb by Piper. Ouch. Piper did manage to get the win. I don't know. I think it's just a Michinoku. It's a Michinoku driver, but I don't know what you call it. I mean, with the way she hits it, I don't know. The Scottish Highlands, I don't know what you would call it. I'm not actually sure what she calls her finisher, so leave in the comments if you actually know what they call it. But still, it wasn't as good as the previous match, but it was still pretty good, and it was the best match that I'd seen Piper have. I mean, granted, this was only the second match she'd had, but it was better than her previous one. Serena had a good showing. I think Serena will get signed. Maybe have a Brian Kendrick-like run where she's the veteran trying to prove that she can still do it. Because it was good. It was good, and she had a good showing, and both ladies did. And then we go Mercedes Martinez versus Princesa Suhei. Decent, not great. But Princesa impressed me, and so did Mercedes. Mercedes' selling and workability was a lot better here. They talked during this and other matches about how Mercedes had had a previously injured shoulder. She actually took 2 years off from the ring to let that injury fully heal. And Mercedes, at the age she is, I think she's in her mid-30s, early to mid-30s, if I'm right. 16 years experience and doing really well, don't get me wrong. It's good stuff, and it was experience versus experience, technical versus speed. And I got my notes, by the way, written here. It was quick, but Mercedes did manage to get the win. Princesa had a good look, had a good showing. Fine effort by both ladies. And then for the last match of this portion of the second round, Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair. Bianca impressed me a lot more here than she did in her previous match. And same with Kairi. Kairi's just great. Apparently, Bianca's only had 1 year of experience in the ring. Top notch. Good stuff. Really hit a great 450 splash later in the match. I hate that hair whip, though. I hate that hair whip. I don't hate her doing it. I mean, it's like, if it works for her, fine. I'm just not a fan of it, because to me, it's stupid. It's way too gimmicky. And there's so many accidents that can happen from that, like with the way her hair is. What if a wrestler accidentally steps on it and she tries to move, could rip her hair out? Risks you take in the ring, but still. I'm not the biggest fan of it. And it makes me think of that stupid Willow Smith song. How dare Will Smith and Jada Pinkett bring that that horrible, horrible, ear-drillingly bad song upon us. And yes, I'm blaming them because they raised her. But Kairi oozes charisma. Bianca had to use the weapon as a hair. I mean, use the weapon as a ladder. Good old Rich Brennan doing that. The 450 by Bianca, as I said, really, really good. That elbow by Kairi Sane, top-notch stuff. Best match easily of the second round so far. And I would say Rachel and Abby Lath, Rachel Evers and Abby Lath had the second best. And then Deeb and Nevin. And then Mercedes and Suhei. No bad match though so far. And really no bad match on these series of episodes. So now we go into episode 6. So we have 4 locked spots for the quarterfinals. Now let's find out about the last 4 spots. Toni Storm versus Lacey Evans. Both women are talented and beautiful. Lacey Evans using that great size and those great legs. And seriously, using them well, doing variations of, excuse me, like scissors and, you know, like scissoring and that kind of stuff, and that sounds kind of wrong with the women's thing, because these women weren't scissoring each other. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. They were both talented, both great. Toni Storm doing well for 21 years old. Lacey Evans, great backstory. Lacey uses her size well, so is Toni. Certainly not a bad match at all. It was a little quick, but Toni getting the win. I wasn't too shocked about, because Lacey's already signed to NXT. Toni Storm needed this more. Get a better showing. Top-notch effort. And then you have Mia Yim versus Shayna Baszler. I just don't see it with Shayna. She's not bad. She's not bad in the ring, but it's just blah. It's just blah watching her. She hits some good moves. I will give her that much credit. Mia Yim is certainly very, very talented. It was also MMA like Baszler's first round. The duo of gourd busters or gut wrenches, you know, where Baszler picks her up and then switches side and still holds her and just hits another one. Great. I will say that was a great move. That was great stuff. And I am kind of going rapid fire on this stuff because I watched these while I was at work, because it was Labor Day and it was really, really boring. In fact, I got through like 3 episodes almost uninterrupted before customers came in. But yeah, just Mia with some innovative kicks, really good stuff. And I mean, Shayna did some decent selling, but not great selling. She was probably told, like, just be a monster, be an MMA fighter, be a destroyer, which suits her. She's part of the 4 horsewomen of the UFC. Oh, for dear God's sake. I'm going to get to something here in a minute. The 450, you know, Mia went for a 450, countered. Shayna got, you know, the rear naked choke. Mia had to tap out. Good stuff. That was good. It was decent, but it was better than the previous match that Shayna had. They're going to have the 4 horsewomen in the WWE, Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte, and Becky. versus versus Ronda Rousey and her crew. I mean, it's like, I don't actually remember the name of the other two. I'm sorry. I don't. I like Ronda Rousey. I mean, that's about it. This is a bad idea. I mean, it's a good idea to bring Ronda Rousey in WWE, but just, if none of those women have actually had any, you know, besides Ronda and, I mean, Shayna seems like the most experienced wrestler out of that. I think Ronda might be taking some bumps. There's a potential to print money, yeah, but I mean, I'll get into fantasy booking that later. I'm not necessarily a big fan of it, but I knew it was coming. I mean, whatever. Let's move on. Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai, both just skilled. Rhea's got such a bright future at 20 years old. Dakota Kai, see why people have talked about her for a number of months and a few years. Really, really good. Solid worker. Solid worker. And again, just saying, super adorable. The anime look like. She's kind of like an anime Bailey. Rhea's got that tall, athletic, beautiful, blonde, bombshell type look, but she's also the athletic type where it's like she could beat you up, but she could also look good. It's really a good dynamic, and there's a mixture of women that are just legit tough and women that look good that can, be the type that Vince would promote. Personally, I would sign all these women because I think all these women at least deserve a shot. Even the whole Marty Bell fiasco, and nothing against Marty Bell, it just was not a good mix with her in the first round, but it is what it is. Rhea Ripley, though, and Dakota Kai, good match, good solid stuff, great kicks by Dakota. Ripley hits a tremendous drop kick. And sign them both, please. I mean, they both deserve the effort, for their efforts, they both deserve the chance to be on this big stage. And then Candice LeRae versus Nicole Savoy. Decent. Candice is a great underdog. Gee, like her husband, Johnny Gargano. They both seem really good together, and I'm really happy for them. Savoy, good submissions, good pace. It was short, though. It was short for a main event. It was a great second rope neck breaker by Candice, so she advances. And now we go to the quarterfinals, episode 7. I would have done separate reviews for these, but quite frankly, I'm already nearly at 1,000 videos. And lumping them together like this, that way you guys could watch a review of a couple of them, then pause it and come back to it later. Plus, it's just easier for me to do this instead of doing like 5-6 minute reviews. Now we move on to episode 7, like I said, quarterfinals. Abby Lathe versus Mercedes Martinez. Decent, not great. But Abby had a really, really good showing. I actually thought she might win here, but they were going to tell a good story with Mercedes in the next match she would have. It was a good mix of mat wrestling and reversals. They really had some good, front face lock reversals and stuff like that. Good strikes by both women. Mercedes sold her shoulder, her previously injured shoulder, as I mentioned earlier. A dive by Abby again, and was given more time than some of the previous matches. But see, I didn't realize that the quarterfinal matches were all going to be on this episode, and the semifinals had already been taped. I was under the impression the semifinals and the finals were actually going to be filmed or, brought to us live. I didn't realize it was just the finals, so that probably means the whole show is going to be like an hour, and it's going to be like maybe a 20-minute match, which is fine. I'll get to who it is in the finals in just a minute. Candice LeRae versus Shayna Baszler. It was speed versus MMA, and it was over like that. Candice had a good showing and actually had a great dive into a tornado DDT on the outside. That was a great spot. Clearly, I think her and her husband have clearly influenced each other. I mean, I know Candice has worked separately from Gargano for a while. But great stuff. Shayna wins, but then, wins by countering, holding on to the rear naked choke and then holding on too long. I actually thought for a second they were going to reverse the decision and put Candice forward, but Candice got choked out. And it was good stuff. Told a story of Shayna being a monster. Shayna Baszler versus Mercedes Martinez. Mercedes being, facing her protege, teacher versus student, in the semifinals. And then Piper Niven versus Toni Storm. Good. Really good. Solid stuff. I actually thought Piper might win this one. I actually thought she might. But I get why she didn't. Maybe they didn't want another monster up against Kairi Sane. Oops, spoiler, because Kairi Sane won, because of course she did. Great core strength by Toni. It was a great double bridge that they had where they were like doing, they just had this big smile on their face. They're like on their backs and doing like this bridge where they're pushing up. I'm not going to try to do it on camera because I'll probably break my spine. And even though some people would want to see that. Kidding. It was cool. Great belly to back off the ropes. Piper has nothing to be ashamed of. Great effort. Sign this young lady. Give her a chance to be as long as her body and her cardio can hold up to the WWE rigorous WWE schedule, either in NXT or on the main roster, because they'll probably put her in NXT first. As long as she feels she can hold up to that and they offer her a good money deal, I hope that they can come to an agreement. I think it's a very good idea to hire most of these ladies, if not all of them. I mean, I can understand why maybe some wouldn't want to sign if they get too low a deal. But most of them deserve to be signed, absolutely. I mean, I think all of them deserve a chance. But Piper, great stuff. Toni Storm advances, goes on to the finals or semifinals to face Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane and Dakota Kai, good stuff. Great big fight feel. It was the first one that actually had a big fight feel to it. And Dakota working heel. Laying her hair down and everything, you know, not having her hair up in the little anime buns or whatever, the Princess Leia buns or whatever. I mean, I'm thinking about her buns now. I'm sorry. I can't help it if the women's beauty and athleticism attracts me. I just can't help that. But I'm not gonna be creepy and stalk the women like so many other fans do at like airports and on Twitter and stuff like that. That's creepy stuff. Still, Dakota and Kairi were great. That elbow, though, great stuff. It was a little short. Not the elbow, but the match. But still, for what they packed in there, pretty good stuff. Semifinals match. Both these matches, it was only 2 matches. Because, you know, four down to 2. By the end, the more you know. That's how semifinals and finals work. Mercedes Martinez and Shayna Baszler. It had a few sloppy spots. It did, but it was the best match of both these ladies' run in the tournament. This also had a big fight feel. Shayna's problem is her selling, again, still isn't that good, and maybe it's because she's young in the wrestling business, even though she's done MMA for quite a bit. But just maybe with time it'll get better. But it was a teacher versus student dynamic. The tap out out of nowhere, though, it's like, hey, okay. I mean, Shayna was going to win. There was no doubt Shayna was going to win because Mercedes had to lose. There was no reason for Mercedes to advance to the finals. They built up Shayna at this point. There was respect shown at the end. A wild Stephanie and Triple H appeared. Along with, I don't know who she was. I think she was a trainer, but she was wearing a red top and she had dark black hair. She was beautiful. I didn't catch her name. I apologize for that. But it was really cool that everybody was there and presenting, you know, a bouquet of roses, hey, or flowers. Hey, congratulations for making it to the finals. So Shayna Baszler advances at the finals, and Kairi Sane versus Toni Storm, great. It was great. I think the best match of the tournament so far. Best match of the tournament. Is really evenly matched. There was a show of respect in the beginning. Things got down and dirty. Good match wrestling, transitioning to high spots. Kairi just has a great underdog babyface style to her. She really works well. Great stuff. Really no complaints here. The explosive spear by her out of nowhere. Storm had a great arm lock. I mean, it looked like the human arm is not meant to bend that way. And it was so good. It was so good. And the way she did, I was like, that's good stuff. We need more styles like that. Some great stuff. Kairi, of course, winning, hitting that elbow. Really good stuff. Like I said, best match of the tournament so far. Solid effort by all these women. So we get Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane in the finals. Pretty much the right choice. I mean, if you're going, and here's why I was saying earlier that why I think the Piper Niven didn't beat Toni Storm to face Kairi. Maybe they didn't want to make it, too obvious, like have Kairi just get to where she was taking on a bigger woman. Take down, Piper. No offense against Piper. I'm just saying, take down a big woman who's been booked like a monster. And then have her face another monster right after that. That's probably why they booked it that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. They could have gone either way with it, but I get why they didn't. It was still solid. Still great stuff. I really enjoyed it. So, it's better than the first round matches. And by the way, check out my review of the first round matches, the 1 through 4, if you haven't already. So now we move on to the finals, which is, I guess, in Vegas, and it's a live special. I don't know why it's not at Full Sail or just somewhere in Florida, but whatever. Maybe they're going to film other stuff like NXT in Vegas. who knows? I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be on September 12th. Hopefully, I can cut a review of that. I think it might be happening right after SmackDown. I'm not too sure. Won't know until closer to that, but hopefully I can cut a review of that right after it happens. And let's see just how good it's going to be. So anyway, that's what we got to say. That's what I got to say, rather we. And because, I'm sorry, my producer's over there, but he decided to pass out. Anyway, do you agree, do you disagree with what I said? What were your favorite matches of the Mae Young Classic so far? What do you think of the finals matchup? Do you think somebody other than Shayna Baszler should have been there? Are you really surprised that Kairi Sane went there with how they hyped her? Like, share, comment, subscribe. My Twitter link is in the description. It's been Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin. I will see you soon.